I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. Welcome to the premier Knicks in the Morning Time show. The Knicks Morning Drive. I am glad to be here with you. I'm being distracted slightly by a 80-pound purebred American pit bull terrier that we have the paperwork for, right? The peak of the peak type beast that is legit no farther than 15 feet away from me, whining because he can't be in here on the microphone with me. He's legit whining because he can't be in this room with me, rocking a microphone with y'all. So that lets me know off rip that I am not the only one that enjoy you guys' company. Even my pit bull Benny enjoys y'all company, enjoys rocking with y'all, man. Salute everybody. Salute everybody. So we have a super intriguing topic to talk about this morning, and yes, it is slightly clickbaity, but it's not. It's clickbaity if you're a casual. If you are hardcore, we got to have this discussion because it's multi-layered, right? It's multi-layered, basically. It's a multi-layered conversation. Is not just about one thing, it's about several things, but the jump off point for this conversation is based in this one thing, right? Building Blocks is in the building. Just Knicks is in the building. Molly Mall is in the building. Salute to everybody watching us on YouTube and on X. Salute to all of y'all. I'm glad y'all are here. E. Gibson is in the building. Salute to everybody. Just want to do an announcement. So I'm proud to announce that Friday night's show will include Eat Sleep Sixers. I'm super excited about the collab with them. With my man BG, I'm super excited for that collaboration. That's been something in the works for a while, and so they'll be coming through for the Knicks at Night podcast 11 on Friday. That's going to be, I'm anticipating that be well worth the watch or the listen, or however you intake the Knicks at Night podcast, whether you watch, whether you listen, whether you catch it on replay, however you however you check for it. I'm super excited about that. That'll be happening Friday night. And I think We Talk Hawks will be coming through at the same time to welcome Eat Sleep Sixers to our crew, so to speak. Super excited about that. Right? So salute to Spurs versus everyone, Gregory Castillo and those guys. Salute to Rel and King Kai. We Talk Mavs. Salute to We Talk Hawks TV. You know, with Demand and Demand has like they're deep. We Talk Hawks TV is super deep, right? Probably deeper than Lawrence Tears, honestly, right? And I also have a huge surprise coming y'all way. I'm not for sure if it'll be this week or next week, so I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag. But we have a major YouTuber coming through sometime soon. Can't pin down the date or the time, so I won't pin down who it is. But keep your eyeballs peeled for that, right? Right. And basically, we're going to talk the state of the franchise with whoever it is that comes on and rock with us, talking about the Knicks' place in the NBA universe. Of course, I'm hardcore. Y'all know I love the Knicks. Y'all know I love the Knicks, bro. Y'all know I love the Knicks, man. Sometimes I rock 2 or 3 times a day talking Knicks. Right? Y'all know I love the Knicks, so y'all know I'm going to stand up and represent. Right? Love the Knicks. Been a Knicks fan for a long time. Love the Knicks. Love the city. Love the culture. Love everything except losing. Wacko in the building. Andios was good. E. Gibson is in the building. PL was happening. Cowboy Bob hit me up a little bit. He said, he'll be through in a little while. Ivory 10 is in the building. Salute. My guy, Ivory 10. So Ivory 10 and everybody in the chat, everybody watching, here's my question for y'all. Here's my question. Do the Knicks need OG Anunoby in order to win a championship? That is my question for y'all. Right? That's my question for y'all. Do the Knicks need OG Anunoby in order to win the NBA championship? The immediate answer is absolutely. Because with OG Anunoby in the playoffs, we look like that team that could knock off the Celtics. Without OG Anunoby, we look like an 8 seed punching uphill. No disrespect to whoever was on the floor, but without OG Anunoby, the team looked like an 8 seed that was punching uphill. We look like the little engine that could without OG, without Randall, without Mitch, without Bogey. Right? The facts are laid out there for you. With OG Anunoby, the Knicks were beating the Pacers, right? Up 2-0, competitive in game 3. He goes out, we lose. If OG Anunoby is on the floor guarding Andrew Nemard, would he have hit that 3 on the Knicks? If OG Anunoby is on the floor, does Nemard hit that step back 3 that he never takes? And if he misses, do the Knicks go up 3-0 against the Pacers? Is the narrative different? Is the narrative different? Knicks up 3-0 against the Pacers. How did the Pacers look against another team when they were down 0-3? When the Pacers were down 0-3 against the Celtics, how did they look in game 4? Hey. Okay. On the flip side of that, what if the Knicks were just only missing Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and Bogey? What if Randle had played? What if Bogey was there for his instant offense? What if Mitchell Robinson had played? JJ in the building, salute. So in case you guys can't tell, man, I'm super excited about rocking with the Sixers, with King Green and BG Eat Sleep Sixers Friday night at 11 o'clock right here on Blowing Tears. I'm super excited about that. Those are my guys, right? Those are my guys. Salute to Jenny Buckets. Damon from We Talk Hawks is going to come through and rock with us for a little while also. That 3-man panel is going to be a veteran panel in more ways than one. But here's the question. And I'm gonna do a deep dive into it, everybody. So I'm gonna do a deep dive. And I don't know why I like to pinch my hat like that, everybody. I guess it's a tick, but I like to pinch hats. I don't know. I like to give myself a shark fin with the hat. You know what I'm saying? Do the Knicks need OG Anunoby to win a championship? My answer to this question is probably yes. Probably yes. With wiggle room to insert someone that can do what OG Anunoby does. Can the Knicks replace OG Anunoby's let me see. If given an entire offseason, I think the Knicks can find adequate OG Anunoby replacement if given an offseason. Right now, will it be difficult? Absolutely. But here's the thing. We felt like Nerlens Noel was a keeper. We felt like Nerlens Noel legit was a keeper, and it would be hard to replace Nerlens Noel after his 2021 Defensive Player of the Year effort with us in 2021. And before we bash Nerlens Noel, right? Remember, when Mitchell Robinson went down, the Knicks were 500, I think. Like maybe a game over 500. With Nerlens Noel in the lineup 2021, the Knicks got scorching hot and went from like the 7 seed all the way up to the 4 seed with Nerlens Noel in the lineup. Now, was he the key? No. Was he a major piece? Definitely. And there's no knock on Mitch. It's not a knock on Mitch, right? This is not a knock on Mitch. Mitch, you our guy. We love you, bro. Don't block me on social media. Mitch, don't block me on social media, bro. You my man. You my man. From day one, when they called your name, bro, we was celebrating, Mitch. We want you here. When Cats was saying Bowl, we was like, nah, we want Mitch. I think Bowl was the guy. Was it Bowl or Taco Fall? It was somebody. They were saying some weird name. We're like, we don't want them weirdos, bro. We want Mitch. Hey, Fritz House Center, who was the other center left in the second round? And Cats was like, yo, we want that weirdo. And we was like, nah, bro, we want Mitch. We wanted Mitch. At the end of the first round, we was like, yo, they need to trade up and get Mitchell Robinson. And it's funny how like when you from the city, you say Mitch's name funny. We want Mitchell Robinson. We wanted Mitchell Robinson. You know what I'm saying? We was like, yo, trade up in the first round and get him. Fortunately, and I guess unfortunately for Mitch's pockets, but fortunately for us, he slid to us in the second round. So unfortunately for Mitchell Robinson's pocket, but fortunately for us, he slid to us in the second round. Slime Shawty in the building. Isaac Bonga, yeah. A 6'9" point guard with limited court vision. Good passer. Good passer. He just couldn't find people. Right? Isaac Bonga was like 6'9", 180, 6'9", 190, something like that. I remember Isaac Bonga. I remember him. Could play point. I don't know if he was a natural point guard though. I think he wound up changing positions and being a small forward, something like that. Yo, King Ribby is in the building, fresh out the shower. That man stay fresh. Yeah, Isaac Bonga wound up being on the Lakers G League squad. I think they signed him to like a 2-way, and he wound up being a small forward or something. Yeah. But anyway, on the OG Anunoby thing, I have to ask the question in layers. I'm going to ask the question in layers before I put the link out there, so everybody will know that for the passionate Knicks fans know that this is not clickbait. For the casuals are going to be like, do we need OG Anunoby? Of course we need OG Anunoby. The casuals are going to say that. Like, for the passionate Knicks fans, I'm going to lay it out in layers so you can follow why I'm asking the question. Right? So here's layer number one. If all the Knicks come back healthy and have their career norms, Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson, Bogey, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, if those players come back and be the players that we think they are, and say OG Anunoby signs with the Pistons, can that team win a championship? If Brunson comes back healthy, Brunson, Dante, Josh Hart, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, Bogey, Deuce, everybody comes back healthy and has what we expect, a season that we expect from them, can that team win a championship if OG Anunoby signs with the Pacers? Can that team without OG Anunoby win a championship? In my mind, absolutely. Absolutely. If Mitch gives you 72 games, if Hartenstein gives you 85 games, and I mean healthy, if Randall gives you 70 games healthy, Hart, DiVincenzo, Brunson, Deuce, Bogey all give you 80 games healthy, can that team win a championship if OG Anunoby signs with the Miami Heat? In my mind, absolutely. In my mind, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, mind you, I love OG Anunoby. I'm asking the question to answer the question, right? I'm asking the question to answer the question at the same time. Now, do the Knicks need OG Anunoby in order to win a championship? I think OG Anunoby helps, right? But here are some questions that I have for OG, I guess, if OG Anunoby is watching. Questions I have for you and questions I have for us. The major question is, why did OG Anunoby want to leave Toronto? Was it just about the money? OG, was it just about the money? Right? In my mind, I don't think so. I think OG Anunoby wanted to win. I think OG Anunoby wanted to leave Toronto because he wanted to be a bigger part of a team's offense. I think OG Anunoby got tired of being a role player and is ready to become a star. And so now that I put the Venus flytrap question out there, I'm going to start getting into what I really wanted to have you here for. Right? I think I told IKBM Dre this in January on the Knicks at Night podcast. I think OG Anunoby can be a mega star in this league. Right? And I know I throw around the word mega star like feathers, like you get a feather, you get a feather, you get a feather, you get a feather, you get a feather. And I know y'all throw around the word megastar like dump trucks. Bam! It's too heavy. Everybody can't be a megastar, Uncle Freezy. I know. I throw around the word megastar like feathers, right? Like I think SGA is a megastar. I think Wemby is going to be a megastar. I think OG Anunoby is going to be a megastar. I think Jalen Brunson is going to be a megastar, right? I think Montes Buzelis is going to be a megastar. Here's the thing. Why did OG Anunoby want to leave Toronto? In my mind, it's for a bigger offensive role. It's for a bigger offensive role. That's question number one and answer number one. Question number two that I alluded to earlier is the health question. Can OG Anunoby stay healthy? No. We just have too big of a sample size. We just have too big of a sample size. Right? OG Anunoby is often hurt. And it's sad to say it like that. It's sad to say it like that, but we have too much proof. We have too much proof, and it's no knock on OG Anunoby because when he's healthy, he's a fantastic NBA player when he's healthy. Was he worth everything that we paid for to get him? Yes. Is he going to be worth the contract that he signs with us? Yes. And King Ribby, this is why I'm the number one Chief Rocket in Knicks universe, right? Because I'm gonna tie these two things together. Watch how I tie these two things together. If OG Anunoby wants a bigger offensive load, at the same time he has a history of missing a lot of games, will carrying more of an offensive load have him be injured more? If carrying, legit as our second or third scorer in the playoffs, he got injured immediately. And it saddens me to say that, right? It saddens me to say that OG is my guy. Listen? Y'all already know who my top 3 or 4 Knicks are, right? Right? Y'all already know who my top 3 or 4 Knicks are. Is Randall, OG, Dante, and Mitch. Y'all know I love those guys. I love them. Love them. Dante is my heartstring. Right? If I see Dante DiVincenzo somewhere, I might pull a piece of candy out of my pocket and give it to him. That's how much I love Dante DiVincenzo, right? And there's no slight on the other Knicks. I like them too. But in the game of favorites that y'all don't like to play, I play favorites, bro. I have never bought a jersey that didn't have a player's name on the back. You know how we say it's about the name on the front of the jersey and not about the name on the back of the jersey? Nah, I love Pat Ewing. Pat Ewing, you my guy. You, Starks, and Clyde are my guys. I never bought a Knicks jersey without a name on it or a number on it. Because in order to love one, you have to love the other. In my mind, they go hand in hand. But to further the OG Anunoby question, if OG Anunoby gets more of the offensive load, if that's what he desires, if that's the reason why he left Toronto. Now, mind you, OG Anunoby's motivations can be different. OG Anunoby is already an NBA champion. Dante DiVincenzo is already an NBA champion. Both of those guys were on championship runs, but they missed time due to injury. They missed out on the magic carpet ride due to injury. So for some, the magic carpet ride has an element to it. And for others, the magic carpet ride has a different element to it. If you're OG Anunoby, and the reason why you want to test free agency or want to get out of your situation was so that you could become more of an offensive weapon. You're tired of being the Mutombo of the perimeter. You're legit tired of being the perimeter's Dikembe Mutombo. You wanna score? I think this situation is going to be kind of problematic, right? Because Julius Randle's an all-star scorer. Jalen Brunson is an all-star scorer, right? And if you want to be an all-star scorer, and I'm not for sure if that's what you want to be or not, because wanting a bigger role doesn't mean you want the biggest role. It just means you want some more. Why do I have Isaac Bonga on the screen? Let me get Isaac Bonga on the screen. Right. Let me get Isaac Bonga off the screen. That's the most playing time Isaac Bonga got in his entire career, right there. So here's the thing, or here's my thought on it. Here's my thought on it, right? If OG Anunoby wants a bigger offensive role, will he stay healthy in that role? Right? I think Cowboy Bob may be backstage smoking a Cuban cigar. Are you in Cuba? Is Cowboy Bob in Cuba? Cowboy Bob, I thought I saw a cigar about big as my finger. Jesus Christ. Jeez, that's a big cigar. I'm a big dude, man. I'm Olu Fashanu size, kinda. I think he may be bigger than I am. Ola Fashanu, for anybody that know who that is. Just real quick before I bring up Cowboy Bob, I want to put a bow on this, and then I'll include Cowboy Bob in the conversation. I just want to get this off my chest really quick. So if OG Anunoby can manage injuries, right? If he adds offense, right? Will that be to the detriment of his all-world defense? Wacko, you heard me say this a million, bajillion, gazillion, trillion, bazillion times, that being a two-way player in the NBA is difficult, right? Will OG Anunoby's desire to be more of an offensive player, if that's his desire, impact his all universe defense? Do we want OG Anunoby to be less of a defender and more of a scorer? Is that what the Knicks want? Is that what you as a Knicks fan wants? Is that what the Knicks need? OG Anunoby at 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, but his defense regresses to just good. Just a good defender. Right now, in my mind, right now, the two best perimeter defenders walking are OG Anunoby and Alex Caruso. And would you tell either to save energy on defense so they could give you more energy on offense? Cowboy Bob in the building. Salute.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sorry.
Cowboy Bob, what's good with you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good, man. It's just why you gotta talk about OG, man. Can we not? Last few days, I'll be feeling like you're not throwing rocks. You're throwing boulders in my shoe. Like I can barely walk right now. Hartenstein, when I could kind of use the crane to get that one out, but everyone else, Mitchell, Randall, and then now OG. But okay, for me, and good morning, chat. I mean, good afternoon, chat. Just want to say that as well. But for me, when it comes to OG, I don't think we need him at 20 points because that's what we tried to have RJ at. I think that with his offense, we've seen him go 7 for 9 in a quarter. We've seen him go 3 for 4 from 3-point range. We've seen him get hot at certain times. So for me, him averaging 16 points with defense is still good enough because then he can create when we're stuck with certain things. And he can provide in that area. It's the same thing like with Dante DiVincenzo. I don't expect him to get 20 points next season. I expect him to get like 16 because they're still expected to maintain some form of defense. And if you ask for more than that, it's going to create a problem because I think that it's going to put more strain on the offensive end. Like they're going to get beat a lot more on the defensive end, and then they're going to try to make up for it offensively, and then the game's just going to be totally different. But as he gets older and progresses, like if he stays with the Knicks, then yeah, he can slowly incorporate it. But for now, no. We have Brunson, we have Randall, we have Dante. Him contributing 16, Dante contributing 16, Brunson 25, Randall 20. Like that's with the defense and rebounding, that's what we need. Him being an offensive player takes away.
I think you just put up. A false ceiling just now. I think you put up a false fence just now for OG. Right? Like the thing about the question is OG Anunoby asking, should OG Anunoby convert at a higher percentage on the shots that he's getting? Was not part of the question. Him being involved in offensive creation and playmaking was the question. Like, for instance, If he's getting 8 shots a game and he's just knocking out 5 out of 8, okay.
Yeah.
But he's doing that right now, but he wants to do more.
We talking like 12? Or are we talking like 16 area?
Like 12 or 16 what?
Shot attempts. Because you said he's getting 8. He could go 5 for 8, which is what he's getting now.
No, more involved in offense in general. It don't matter what the number of shot attempts are. Right? Like playing more on the ball. Right? OG Anunoby initiating the pick and roll instead of Brunson.
Okay.
OG Anunoby post ups. OG Anunoby
Okay.
dribbling, creating his own shot off the 3. OG
Yeah.
Anunoby getting more looks when he cuts to the basket.
But then we lose on defense because that energy that he's going to be using offensively is going to have to slow him down defensively. So we're going to need to make sure that it's tough for me to say because it depends on who we have at center and how well Randall's playing this year and how well he's playing. But I can't get into hypotheticals about that. I could just think off of what you said. And for me, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that him. I mean, he should be more creative in the offense, yes, with the pick and rolls, creating his shots to where like it moves up to like 12 to 14. I'm okay with that. But if it's to the point where it's taken away from Randall or it's taken away from Brunson, that's why I said like the amount of attempts he gets. Because if he's creating, kicking out to Brunson or Randall on a rotation as a trap's coming, or giving them a dribble handoff, yeah, that's cool. Him more involved in the offense that way. I see it working. But him taking more shots, doing more post ups, it's going to take away from his defense. And then most likely he's going to get beat on the other end. So for me, like I said, up to like 12 to 14 plays involved with him. Like him with the ball, him contributing, because basically he's taking over the RJ role, if we were to look at it. But he got the defense, and I don't want to take away from that defense because he creates off of that as well. That's why I say, like, he creates turnovers, he creates blocks, he creates shot clock violations.
Right.
So that's another way of contributing to our offense. That's why I say, like, how much bigger are you going to give him in the shots? Because, like, 4 or 5 more shots is cool. But then on defense, you know you could get a steal. You know him and Dante is going to put that pressure, get that block, get that rotation rebound, or at least that tip out, or run the clock down. Like, you still can create offense off of that. So even though
what if it's not about shots? What about if it's that passing element that you've never seen?
that,
What if he just wants to get his assists up?
that's cool. That's what I'm saying. Like I could see that to where he could get down in the post, kick out, do a quick dribble handoff post, do a pick and pop. I could see that. That's great. That's what we need because, like I said, it's the RJ role basically. But he got the defense, so don't supplement it more with too much offense to where we forget that his defense also creates for our offense. That's what I'm saying. Like I like it. I like seeing him with that passing because now you get a 7 assist guy in, let's say 7 assists or even 6. Let's be fair, 6 assists a game in OG. You're probably going to get about 5 from Randall. You're probably going to get about 7 from Brunson. And then you also got, like you also even got Dante, who also can pass, which is probably another 4. So you're going to get like 20 assists where everybody's into. It's going to be perfect. And plus, he's young enough to develop. So there's no handicap behind it.
Okay.
I would love to see that. That'll be a side of OG that would actually help his cause to stay here. Because it shows growth. It shows that he's adding to his game, especially in assists.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, he would get that too if he stays in the league. Like, he get a steal or a block or a turnover, he creates an assist off of that too. Like, I expect if he's getting like 6 assists, I'm gonna be like, wow, with like 16 points, 8 rebounds, I'm gonna be like, that's dope. And maybe a block. I'm gonna say that's exactly what we need.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because I love his defense. Like me, I'm like, I need OG's defense because even when stuff's messed up, he's the one that he will talk to other players. Like he's the guy like outside of his game, like what he does is he tries to make everything better and show guys how to do things. So for me, at that young of an age, oh hell yeah. It'll show developing in his game. It'll show more that he's into our cause and it'll show that Tips can develop a player. Someone can actually see that, like, yo, look at OG's game.
Okay.
Yeah, but Tibbs is the coach.
All right. So OG Anunoby came to the Knicks and took less offensive shots than he took in Toronto. Right?
How many was he taking in Toronto? May I ask?
12.
12? See, that's perfect. See?
And with the Knicks he took 11.
I'm only asking for 3 or 4 more. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yep. His assists were down with the Knicks. His rebounds were up with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
His steals were up with the Knicks.
When they double team Randall, he can get an open shot. When he rotates backdoor screens, he can kick out to, if he's in the post, to the rotating man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. OG Anunoby in the playoffs took 12 shots a game. He shot 50% from the floor, 41% from 3, and 61% from the free throw line.
That what else do you want? Like he's not gonna be like a Paulo Banchero to where you asking him to do 20 and 10 or and he's young and he's running a team by himself. No, he got Brunson and Randall coming. You know, he got Dante too. But that to me is impressive, those numbers. From the field, what? 41% from 3-point.
Yeah.
What? Yo, I didn't even see those numbers. Like I'm just here. This is a recollection for the first time, and I'm surprised it was that high.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot that goes into it.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you ask for more? If that's good, that's in the playoffs. Like that's crazy. Imagine what he could do if he could sustain that for the regular season. And then in the playoffs, the way he was able to, I think those numbers improved.
Right.
Like they got better because I've seen him go off in one game. I was like, what is he doing? 7 for 9. What? Who? OG with the ball? Is that OG out there? Like that, we know he got. But if you can sustain that throughout the season to where he's getting those 12 to 14 shots, oh man, that's beautiful. With the defense, we're not losing anything. He's just developing to do it over a longer period of time with us. That's all.
Right. No doubt.
Sign OG now. 6 years.
Right. Yeah. So there's a barrier. I think you put a barrier up, and I think I may have to put up a barrier also. When we kind of, well, you know what? Let's not put up barriers. How about we do this? How about we have the conversation be free flowing one way or the other, one extreme or the other, and then that way we can reel ourselves back in. Like, let's explore everything, and then discard what wasn't worth exploring, as opposed to putting up a fence and not exploring everything.
Okay.
Right. I think a summer and a training camp with Tom Thibodeau can unlock OG Anunoby like it did Jalen Brunson and like it did with Julius Randle. I think the guys with tremendous upside and potential can benefit by being with Tom Thibodeau. You want me to give you a recent example? Do you have an example?
Dante DiVincenzo.
Bam. Yeah. Can I give you my example? Josh Hart.
I just want to hear you say it. I'm so proud. Another Knicks fan said his name in a positive. Thank you.
Right. Right.
Sorry, you know how Dre is.
Yeah, IKBM Dre is probably somewhere spitting right now. Just
He's like, hey, keep pumping my gas, Josh.
I think a off season where Tom Thibodeau can break down OG Anunoby's game, offensive game, and rebuild it, and legit coach up OG's defense. Whereas if OG Anunoby can play 70 games, I think he's no doubt a lock for the defensive player of the year conversation. And I'm saying for the conversation, I'm not saying he's going to finish in the top 12. I'm just saying for the conversation. He's also a lock for all NBA defense, first or second team. Right?
It's
But
positionless.
what I think Tibbs also unlocks is guys with high basketball IQ. Tom Thibodeau unlocks their intangibles.
I'm sorry to butt in real quick. Why do you think I want Harrison Ingram? I want us to draft him. His IQ is so high. He's good in the pick and roll. Oh my God, this guy could do a perfect pick and roll, high basketball IQ. Went to Indiana, I think, and then went to North Carolina. So he knows two different types of style of basketball. Great defensively, great without the ball.
Are we talking about?
No, I was just saying Harris Ingram, but I was saying
Anunoby?
My fault. No, I was saying that's why I wanted to
Talking about
draft
OG
Harrison.
and so you legit just
I just had to throw an elbow. I was all right. I had to think positive. But no, when it comes to OG, if that's the case, then let's see it. Why are we hesitant? Aren't we in this mode to where we think that we can build a championship legacy, not just a championship team? We want to win for years, right? So why not get the best out of OG in year one? Look at what happened with Josh Hart, and I hate to say, using him as an example, half of his season was his first playoffs when he first got to us. Then this year, he jumped in and helped out tremendously. I'm not expecting that again, but, like you said, if he unlocks potentials in players, OG comes out and does his thing, we good. Most of the games we lost were because of lack of rebounding, defense, and points. So if he unlocks that potential in a guy for 1 year, oh, man.
Why would it need to be for 1 year though?
No, I'm just saying I always put everyone in a year development because I'm not just gonna say, hey, over summer, someone's just gonna come out and bang and be good. I gotta see how it is within 25 games. Because I go on a year-to-year basis, like the full year. Don't get me wrong, like you could be MVP mid-season. I'm still not gonna be like, oh, he's an MVP. I want to see the whole season and then vote it for myself because sometimes I miss things. And I like to go back and check before I make my analysis. So I think that OG, how he played last year, if he comes back healthy and gives us 70 games with those numbers, and you're saying there's more to see, we rebuilded young. What's the hesitance?
Okay. I'm thinking that Tom Thibodeau, given a complete offseason with OG Anunoby, can get that man together. Now, OG Anunoby is a fine NBA player before he got here, OG Anunoby was a great NBA player. Right? Before if you just go based off his Toronto Raptors career, that man has already had a fantastic NBA career. Right? If you just go by what he did in Toronto, his 6.5 seasons in Toronto, right? He's already had a fantastic NBA career. I think Tom Thibodeau, though, because I think OG is at that age. Is he at that click age? Let me see.
26, right? About to be 27.
He'll be 27 next month.
Next month, yeah.
Yeah. So OG Anunoby is right at that click age where things come together. I think he's at that age, so he'll be 27. I think Tom Thibodeau can unlock him like he did Jalen Brunson, like he did Dante DiVincenzo, like he did Josh Hart, like he did Julius Randle, like he did Isaiah Hartenstein, like he did Nerlens Noel. I think he can unlock OG Anunoby in a way that we may be talking about borderline all-star for OG Anunoby.
Then what are you scared of? Like, at 27 years old, we got a guy who's young, wants to be here. Why not just do it? I mean, if you're talking about the injury factory, that's a part of the game. Every player deals with that. So you can't even sit here and tell me if you get the dream player you want that they're not going to deal with that. But now we have a guy in OG.
Now let's speak to that point first, though. To that point you just made, OG Anunoby has never played more than 67 games in a season. Or I'm sorry, let me take that back. OG Anunoby has never started more than 67 games in a season. So he played 74, 67, 69, 43, 48, 67, and 50 games this year.
That's okay. I mean, like, let's be real. Everyone's dealing with injuries. I'm not gonna lie. Like, 8.
But not like OG Anunoby though. Everybody doesn't deal with injuries like OG. Give an example. Give you an example. Dante DiVincenzo dealt with injuries this year, right? Dante DiVincenzo didn't miss 32 games. Remember Dante DiVincenzo injured his knee on the Milwaukee Bucks championship run. I think he played like 60 games or something like that as their starter. And then he injured his knee and was out for the playoffs, but the Bucks won a championship anyway. But the thing about Dante is that was just an injury, but OG Anunoby is a walking injury, so to speak. How do you mitigate that?
For me, it's a part of the game. Like I said, it's a part of the game. I already know what I'm going to get from him, which is 60 games, let's just say. I'm okay with that. There's 22 games I got to have him covered. I'm okay with that.
I'm with you on that, too.
Because at the end of the day, I was going to just say this because at the end of the day, if we got OG Anunoby for 60 games and we're 40-20, you guys are going to argue?
Nope. I stated that first. I was the first person to say it.
Like, think about it. No, even all the great coaches said it. Phil Jackson said it. If you're winning 40, if you're at 60 games and you got 40 out of 20, you have a great chance of making the playoffs. And that's what we want, right? So if he gives us that and then we get, like you, I remember you saying it, and he's like 11 for 11, 10 for 11, 10 for 12, we're still good. Because that's still 50-something games. Like I'm saying, I'm okay with it. And he's young, to where I know we're not going to have to rush him back. And I know if it's an issue, then we got some of the best doctors here. It's New York. People will fly in to help him out, and we'll get some of the best people to help him out with our training facility. Because how quickly, even you saying Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, these guys turned it around in a year and a half to a year. That's why.
That's what I said though. What about what Cowboy Bob said though?
I'm sorry if you said that. Like I said, I just hopped on and I didn't even know you said that. But for me, it's like the transition is going to be very well for a guy like OG Anunoby. Him getting more involved into the system, him being more into it for 40 to 60 games. Plus, when he comes back into the playoffs, that's a different story. He already knows what to do. So for me, it's like he's still young. He's still going to have the attributes to heal up, and you can use them when you need them. So why not take a chance on a guy you know that can still give you a positive at a younger age and invest into an older player or a player that's more expensive that you know is a work in progress and still may have injuries. Like for me, here's an example. Here's a prime example. if I know for sure I'm getting 60 games out of OG, right? Let's say we play 50 games, he gets hurt, and he's out the next 20 games or 70 games, right? But then he comes back. I'm okay with that. He comes back, and then he plays the next 10 games, and I can rest him 1 or 2 games in there. I'm okay with that because for me, I get to change out my rotations to set up for the playoffs in that time when he's not playing. And on top of that, it's a lot better for me to keep him because he already knows what we're doing. Now, if we go out and get another player, it's going to be a higher value to demand what OG can bring to the table at a cost to where they may get hurt and it may take even a whole season for them to come in. Like I'm saying, someone getting ankle injuries. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going to get injured. That's all I'm trying to say. So whoever we bring in, we still got to have that challenge of, hey, they're going to get injured too. We can't just hold it on OG. But for me, 60 games of OG, knowing that he can come in and out, rest up, I prefer that because I know what he's going to bring to the table as opposed to bringing someone in. That's defense for me. Bringing someone in knowing that they can be injury prone as well. No one's not going to be as injury prone as OG, but I'd rather deal with him at his age and trust in him in the system because we traded for him. What was the point of trading RJ for him? At some point, we have to back a player whether we may not agree with all the things, especially injuries.
Okay.
I was just saying, like I said, I'm not saying anything like, oh, I know he's going to get hurt this specific time. I'm just saying, for me, we just got to know with everything going on. We already seen what OG could bring. I like it. Let's go. Imagine OG giving you 18 points, like I said, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and like 6 assists, and a blocking game. And on defense, whoever he's playing against is like a -12. He's like you. If you average 20 points, you gain 8 that night with OG there. But he's only giving it to you for 60 games. You mean to tell me you guys ain't gonna back that up when it's playoff time?
Okay. What else you got? That's it. I thought you had something else.
No, it was just about that was it just about the injuries. I was just saying I'd rather stay with OG because I know if the production what it's gonna be already, I ain't got a second guessing with someone else.
Okay. All right.
So that may be a offense for me. So sorry if I put one up.
Um. All right. So Wiz is in the building. Wiz says with OG's efficiency, I would double his current offensive involvement. Salute to him. Big Buddy is building.
So you want him at 24 shots?
No, shots is not the only thing on offense, Cowboy Bob. Remember we talked about that earlier.
I know, but he said on his.
But he said he'd double his involvement. He didn't say double his shot.
No, you're right. You're right. I read it wrong. I didn't see the involvement. You're right. I reread it.
Yeah.
Like, that would be dope. I agree with that.
Yeah, you don't have to double it, right? Maybe because doubling his offensive usage rate gets him in that Luka Doncic range. I don't know. That's Wiz's opinion. Wiz says I would double his current offensive involvement. And the only metric I know to quantify offensive involvement is usage rate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna see what OG Anunoby's usage rate is. Ooh, yeah, nah. I don't. So his usage rate is 17.6. If you double it, That's 35.2.
Damn.
I don't know, Wiz. I understand. I think I understand where Wiz is going. I think the way that we are reading it may be off. Salute to
Okay.
Wiz. I think the way we're reading it may be off,
Yeah.
but increasing his offensive usage rate to 35.2.
That's a lot.
That's in that Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid area. So maybe I'm reading it wrong.
I was gonna ask, what was Randall like? What's Randall uses? Like
I
22?
don't know.
That's crazy though. That's a lot, especially if you
Yeah.
expected him to be healthy. Like that would force him to me. That would cause him not to be healthy. Because even Jalen Brunson was getting hurt this year, and he played majority of the season. So it gets tough down there when you're expecting that much usage.
So
Hell, Luka's hurt now.
yeah. Jay Singh in the building. Yeah. Okay. So Cowboy Bob, I think I got like 20 minutes left before I gotta get out of here and get back to the paperwork and stuff.
Okay.
Just want to remind everybody, Friday night is gonna be a special night for us. So we're expecting Eat Sleep Sixers and We Talk Hawks to come through and chop it up. That's gonna be a fire event. That's gonna be a fire event there. Just that alone is gonna be crazy. We have a special guest, a new friend we made, probably coming through in the next week or two. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but that's going to be fun also. Just putting some special stuff out there for everybody. For fans of Lawrence Tears and fans of NBA, I think you're going to enjoy this summer with us. Not just overly aggressive opinions. We're going to try to talk about, analytics, strategy, things of that sort. So, but here's the thing that I want to mention about OG Anunoby and his injury history over the years. Right. You got to take into account. So let me do this real quick, Cowboy. But hold on. You got to take into account the type of injuries that OG Anunoby had over the years. Ew, Cowboy Bob digging in. Ew. You still on camera, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right.
I had to get my cigarette.
Yeah, you still on camera. We can still hear you and all that stuff. So, but I think over the years, OG Anunoby has had a lot of injuries. Right. The thing is, we have to take into account the types of injuries OG Anunoby had over the years. Right. I'm going to read off some of the injuries that OG Anunoby had over the years. And this is part of the reason why I say we got to kind of relax a little bit with the injury thing. Just a little bit. Right. On September 16th, 2017, OG Anunoby tore his ACL. Right. 5 months later, he tried to return and he sprained his ankle. Right. 2 weeks after that, he came back off of the ACL and the sprained ankle and sprained his ankle. Right. October 17th of 2018, he had a orbital bone contusion. And I know what an orbital bone contusion is, everybody. Trust me. Trust me. I know what an orbital bone contusion is. It's the reason why y'all be calling me frog eyes and all that stuff behind my back. Y'all sickos. Y'all slime balls.
You know you just made that up.
Because I had orbital bone contusions and I had broken eye sockets and all that stuff. Y'all sickos out there calling me, yeah.
Lies.
Yeah, right. Out there talking about me behind my back. So he had
Smiling in your face.
Yeah,
Every time they want to take your place, the backstabbers.
Boom. Right. So he had an orbital contusion.
Mm-hmm.
A week later or 2 weeks later after that, he missed time for personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Right. 2 weeks after that, he had a right wrist injury. Right. We didn't know what the right wrist injury was, but 3 days later, it was diagnosed as a wrist sprain.
Mm-hmm.
In January of 2019, he missed a game for personal reasons. Right.
Mm-hmm.
March 28th of 19, he had a head injury. Right.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later, after that, he came back. He had an appendix. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In November, the following season, in November, he had an eye injury. August, he had a knee injury, calf. In 2021, and January of 2021, he had a calf injury. He sat out in February due to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Calf, rest, injury management, injury recovery, injury management, health and safety protocol, finger, a bruised hip. He had an ankle injury, wrist injury, ankle in 2023. April of 2023, he had the ankle again. The beginning of this season, he had a leg injury that didn't keep him out long. He had a finger injury. And then with us, he had the elbow. He had the elbow, the chip, the bone spurs in his elbow that he had to have removed.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
And
but
so, with Cowboy Bob, before you cut me out, let me finish. What I'm saying is the injuries that he had are not freak throw your body against a school bus type injuries, right? These are the small wear and tear injuries that on a serious playoff contender, OG Anunoby would have played through those injuries, right? But on a team that went from a championship contender to a team that played in Tampa Bay, Cowboy Bob, you remember when they played in Tampa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they played a whole year in Florida? People forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
They played a whole year in Florida. They tanked the entire season. OG, and a lot of those injuries that I mentioned, was in that tank season. 2020, 2021. A lot of those injuries were during that time. And on a tanking team like OG Anunoby played for, remember, or I call them Tampa. Toronto, they did play in Tampa, by the way. But Toronto was a tanking team that was sending a veteran for very slight injuries. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what I'm gonna say to everybody is the elbow thing was a legit thing that required surgery for a long time. The torn ACL was a legit thing that required surgery and be out for a long time. But everything in between that was injuries that you ask a veteran to sit because your tanking team is looking to get better position in the lottery. That's what those were. And so, am I calling OG Anunoby an injury prone player? If OG Anunoby is injury prone, then Jalen Brunson is injury prone, because Jalen Brunson broke his hand, and Jalen Brunson also broke his hand in Dallas, where he missed a large portion of their playoff run. Right. What I'm saying to you is, let's keep the injury thing in. Let's look at the types of injuries and how they were handled versus the number of injuries that you see and the number of missed games. Let's not look at missed games as the total, as the summation of a guy is injury prone. Right? Let's not do it that way. Let's look at it like, you know what? If the Toronto Raptors were on a playoff run, OG Anunoby would have played. And how I know this to be true is OG Anunoby on a, I don't know the severity of the hamstring thing. I'm going to say it was torn. I'm not going to say it was sprained. But OG Anunoby tried to play in a pivotal game 7 on a very injured hamstring. On a very, very, very injured hamstring, he still went out and tried to gut it out for us. In Toronto, when they were tanking, they were like, nah, dog, just sit this stuff out. I think we have to look at things in context. It's like when you hear somebody curse. Like you meet somebody and you hear him curse, and you're like, dang, this person's language is terrible. Did they just curse that one time, or do they curse all the time? You can't tell because you just judge them by that one event. Like, just because you heard Cowboy Bob cuss one time, you can't say that Cowboy Bob cuss everybody out that he come across. Nah. The injury list for OG Anunoby sure is long, but what about the injury management? Were they telling OG Anunoby to sit so that they can trade up and so that they can draft Anthony Edwards? Right? Did they tell OG Anunoby to sit so that they can try to draft Cade Cunningham? Right? Did they tell OG Anunoby to sit so that they can try to get Victor Wembanyama? Right? And with that said, is that the reason why OG Anunoby wanted to get the hell out of Toronto? See how I cussed right there, Cowboy Bob, and didn't cuss for the whole show? Mm-hmm. And people, hey, man, he cussed. Right? Mm-hmm. Was that the reason why OG Anunoby wanted to get out of Toronto? Because he wanted to play and be more of a contributor than to stay in Toronto for a lottery team that's headed back to the lottery.
Like I said, I'm letting you rock. I was being polite because you basically said a lot, and I'm like gather it in, and it's true. Plus, on top of that, I just wanted to add that I feel that that's what happens when you're a physical player. For me, that's what I was going to say. Those injuries are injuries he got playing physical on a defensive end, playing against guys 1 through 3. Like, it's going to happen. So for me, I'm okay with it because he's not going to have that much pressure defensively with this team as opposed to Toronto. And also what you brought up with the management here would be totally different.
I don't understand what you were getting at.
What I was saying was, to me, the injuries that you listed off, I thought that was injuries for a person who plays physical defensively, right? So for me to sit here and say that OG is gonna have that type of defensive usage as plus his injury management here, I think it's gonna be different. I think we're going to be more effective in using his time management with the injuries, and I think we'll be more able to get better out of him. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
All I was saying was just that his injuries, to me, that's why I believe let him stay for 40 mil. He's a physical player, so.
Yeah. I'm saying that I'm saying that the injuries are overstated. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that list of injuries is overstated. Right? Think COVID protocol. I mean, a lot of people went through that. Sprained ankles, a lot of people go through that. Sprained wrist, a lot of people go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The chip bone in your elbow, that can happen to anybody. That can happen to you. Can happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody in here that uses their arms and stuff like that, if you're a bodybuilder or if you lift weights, it could happen to you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
These things happen. So what I'm saying is I think there's a combination of things that got OG Anunoby here. Toronto is at this point is not a winning organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that they were basically tanking the last 3 seasons, and so any small injury, they were telling OG Anunoby to sit down. Hey, bruh, nah, just sit out these 4 games, bro. Sit out this road trip. Notice when I was naming the injuries, listen how close. Listen to the injuries again, just real quick. The injury management. Once they started tanking, health and safety protocol. 3 weeks later, rest. 3 weeks later, rest. 10 days later, rest. A day later, calf. May 4th, injury management, all the way to May 15th. From May 4th to May 15th, there are 5 things listed: injury management, injury recovery, injury recovery. And then in November 1st of 2021, health and safety protocol. Right? February 25th, 2022, finger. 12/10/22, hip. Ankle, wrist, ankle, leg, finger, elbow. Well, not elbow. Elbow happened here with us. What I'm saying is the injuries that are listed, a lot of NBA players that play for lottery teams are going to get rested. And you know why these players are going to get rested. So that these franchises can draft Scotty Barnes. So that these franchises can draft Grady Dick. It's just a part of it. And so these franchises can draft Christian Coloco.
I hear you.
Yeah, man. Is OG Anunoby injury prone? Maybe. Is it as bad as what we think? Definitely not, in my opinion. In my opinion only, this is Uncle Freezy's opinion. Definitely not. Would OG Anunoby have played 60 or 70 of those games missed if he was a Knick? Yes. Is it fair to say, look at his stat history and see all those missed games and say he doesn't want to play? No, I don't think that's fair. What you got on that, Cowboy Bob? Nothing.
I agree with you. I don't want to double down on it like a ham sandwich, but it's
Right.
it's factual. I think the injuries, like I said earlier, it's the same thing. I think that is worth it. Why not? Because even if you say anything, look at Embiid. Embiid was playing amazing and shit, but then got hurt. So it happens. Like, to me, it's like no matter how well you play in this game, it's bound to happen. And OG's that player we should go ahead and just double down on. That's all.
Okay. All right.
And
All right.
again, you
Nope.
said you had like 20 minutes. I didn't want to keep talking. You know me.
Now,
I start that ball rolling. We might not have turn it into like a 5-hour conversation. But
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah. When Joel Embiid was missing, when Joel Embiid missed the first 2.5 seasons of his career,
Mm-hmm.
people felt like he was injury prone also. And now I think people will legit trade 2 of their best players for Joel Embiid right now.
And
And he
look at
was
how
hurt
he
recently.
recovered. And look at how well he played after the recovery with the injuries. This year he was an MVP up until he got hurt. So why can't we have somebody like that, you know?
In my mind, OG Anunoby is like that product, that high-end product that you get on a discount in a store
Mm-hmm.
because the box is damaged. Nothing is damaged on the inside of the box, but the box is damaged. It's like you ever bought like a TV from somewhere
Mm-hmm.
like 35% off just
Yeah,
because the
like,
box was damaged.
or they don't even have a box for you. They just give you the one off the floor and they'll clean
Yeah,
it and give you
yeah,
like double insurance.
yeah,
Like, yeah, you
yeah,
ain't getting no extra remotes or cords. They just got the display and you're like, all right, I'll take it because it's the last
yeah.
one.
I bought a floor model like that one time. You probably don't know what a floor model TV is, but I bought a floor model TV like that one time because it was in the window at Halleck Myers.
Mm-hmm.
It had been in the window so long that the front of it was faded because you know how the sun come through the window
Yeah.
and the front of it was like faded like on one side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I took that joker home. Yo, I took that thing home, bro, and got some of that. Yo,
Exactly. So why not enjoy it?
yeah, man. So everybody, that's all I have. Everybody, thank y'all for coming through and rocking with us.
Go,
For more
go, go,
conversations
go.
like this one, make sure you check out the Knicks at Night podcast. Make sure you check out the Knicks Morning Drive. We coming through trying to talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. But basically, what we saying is seeing is believing. Deep diving is believing. It's easy to talk about topics. Excuse me. It's easy to talk about topics on the surface, but I'm not gonna parakeet what everybody else is saying. I'd rather research stuff and have these conversations with y'all. And then that way, if I get esoteric, y'all can reel me back in. But sometimes we find stuff like OG Anunoby's injury history is not what people think it is. So, Cowboy Bob, you gonna say go New York, go before we get out of here?
Yep, go New York, go New York, go. And everybody, thank you that contributed on X. Everybody, thank you. Please subscribe and like the video. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tenga buen día, caballeros.
Yeah, peace, everybody.